Hello, thank you all for the support you guys gave to us last season. It has been a wonderful season. 2025, 2026. We know we have a lot of ups and downs for the season. We have a change in manager. We are so grateful that the manager we brought in, like a Carrick, was able to take us to third position and also to the Champions League. Yeah, it's another new season again, the 2026-2027 season. It has been a great season. We hope it's going to be a great season for us and also with a lot of expectation at the end. It started 8 weeks and we'll see how it goes with a lot of expectation this season because we Manchester United, we do believe that at the end of this season, we are going to smile and have something great. We are so happy for what Manchester United has been doing so far, even with the lot of the transfer, the ups and downs in the season, which they bringing the players, and even not bringing the, to me, even not bringing the right full one for us at the time we needed it most. The signing of Talisman, the signing of Santos have been a great addition to us, but we are still lacking some places in that team. And the item we address it, the better for us. Because if Nagekari cannot address those issues, I think it's going to be a very great problem for the team as the season progresses. Not even in the Premier League, but also in the Champions League. And tomorrow, Manchester United will be going to their first match of the season against Hull City. Hull City has been a great team for us. I think the last time we played them, we that was when Michael Carrick and even Rashford was in the team, and Rashford scored the goal for us. Michael Carrick was also a player during that period of time. Today is going to be a manager, while Rashford is going to be a player in that team. We are so happy to have Rashford back to our midst, to the team. We know how flexible it is, how versatile it is in the team, the front line, the front three, and also giving us more option in the front line. We all know that Manchester United has lots of ups and downs in their transfer, and as we are going through this season, in some days the transfer segment is going to end, and we are going to see how it goes. Okay, today we are going to talk first about the match against All City. What will be our expectation at the end of the match tomorrow? It's an early kickoff match, and it has not always been favorable to us, but we believe with Michael Carrick, with the way he has been playing throughout last season, with the preseason we see, apart from the match against AC Milan, everything has been good. We know that the match against AC Milan were played in the midfield back and also in the left back. So I think this will be the place where like a Carrick have to address to the player as the season progress. So the if we check the match against AC Milan, we all know that we are all at played in the midfield, even with Bruno Fernandes, Talisman, Santos. Everything was not how we hope it should be. So even with the left back, Luke Shaw, which was playing there was so lot of room for Chukwueze to even rest and even do a lot of things with the ball. Yeah. So we believe that this All City match is going to be different, even if we know that All City doesn't push most of the traits like that. But it will be a great way for like a Carrick and the team to have that belief if they have to go into the match tomorrow and make out a win. Not just the win, but also plays a good football. That is something we lack against the AC Milan. So I think this is at the places like Carrick have to address. And if you check what we have been doing, I think we now have versatile player in different position. Which can play different thing for us in the back tray, in the midfield, and also in the front tray line. And this has been a great access to Michael Carrick. As tomorrow game is going to be, I think the first thing we need, let's go into the front. Let's go into the first 11. How the first 11 is going to be addressed. We all know that yes, that Lamens has been the number one choice for everybody, which is great way which he has been playing, and the way which he has been doing the arranging the back four for us throughout last season and also in the preseason. Apart from the AC Milan match, it has been so good for us. Lames has been good for us. So it will always be the number one choice for Manchester United. Then, as for the right back, I will still love Dalot to be there, not just because of his attacking mindset, yeah, but is I would love Dalot to be there because we have to play Mascharawi in the left back instead of Luke Shaw this time around. Shaw need to start from the bench, so he will he will understand the game, and Shaw need to start from the bench as for tomorrow's match. Yeah. So the defensive line of the two back line should be Maguire and Evan at the back. Then in the midfield three, we should have Talisman, Santos, and Bruno at the front line of the three-man defense. Then from the right wing, it will always be hammered from there because from what we see throughout the preseason, Ahmad has been so great from the right wing, and as you can see, is gaining his form back just the way he has been playing throughout last season. Throughout the preseason, we saw that. So he gave those energy, those pace, those cuts in. We saw those things which he did throughout the last season in the preseason. So Ahmad should be the front tray on the right side. Then Mbemo should be the front line. Yeah, the reason why Mbemo should be there is because in as much that Sesko has been back to the training ground, but I don't think it's the right thing to just put him into the front line immediately and for him to start a match. He can start from the bench to have some minutes, just as Makikari have said in the in the press conference that they can start from the bench. So it will be always nice for him to start from the bench with Mbemo at the front line. Then I know we have Rashford, Kunya, and Dogo as the three left um, winger. But for me, I'll prefer Kunya should start at that left wing because we all know that Dogo is not defensive minded anymore. It has always been this attacking player. Irrespective, we bought him for as a defender to Manchester United, but he has now been playing as a forward line throughout the end of the last season, going to the preseason. So, but if we can see much of the game we have against AC Milan, even when Shaw was behind, like Shaw was uncovering his position very well, Dogo wasn't there to even support him, as even draw back to support that line. So I'll prefer Cunha to be there tomorrow in the front three. So someone said Rashford is a game changer. Yes, Rashford is a game changer, but it can come from the bench for us. And if it comes from the bench, it's a good thing for us because he will able to change the game. As I said earlier, he is a player who can play the front three position perfectly. He can play as a top nine, as a right winger, or as a left winger. So it gives us this option to puts or not just put everything in either in Mbemo or or Sesko or even on Cunha, but it gave us that option that yes, we have a player who can help us and do things the way we want it to be. And Rashford has been that type of player for us right from a time in Manchester United. Even if he loved playing from the left wing, but sometimes in match we've seen him playing at the right, at the front line, or even from the right wing. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how Michael Carrick is going to integrate him throughout the season. But remember that Manchester United, if you check all the forward player which we have, all has been versatile player. All can play in either of those positions perfectly. So, and that gave us this flexibility for us to, for the defender not to even know who to play or who to hold on to. And that is one of the great assets Manchester United is going to have this season in the Premier League. Because if we have such others player who can play in the front three perfectly and they are versatile, it gives those defender it gives those defender confusion to know who they are going to mark. And when a defender doesn't know who to mark, it gives the opponent like Manchester United the greater the greater edge to outplay them in that defensive line and win the match. So this is one of the great things Manchester United is going to have this season for us, and we hope that they are going to use it perfectly. Also, for as I said, the prediction of the lineup which I've did, I we want Manchester United to win the match with the 3 goals tomorrow, because if we won the match with a 3 goal or without even conceding, I think it's going to give this player this edge of believing that yes, they are going to achieve something great. We all know what the AC Milan. I do put AC Milan as a reference point to this game because in that AC Milan match, we saw all what happened. How even when we play better against the PSG, we play better against Atletico Madrid. When we play against the AC Milan, we saw how we are played in different positions. So these are something I won't want it to repeat himself as the season progresses. But I hope that like a Carrick is going to give us something that we, the fans, will love to watch. And he has always been an entertainment player throughout last season. He gave us something to watch, something to have joy upon, even when the season wasn't that good for us. So we are so happy that he was able to get the job as the head coach for this season because he has been a Manchester United player and also as an assistant coach, now as an head coach. So he knows the club very well. He knows what this club should be. You know where this club should be at this time. You know where to take us to. You know what we are fighting for. You know the hunger which the fans have been having for the past 13 years. So I think he is the right man for the job and is going to give us that win. And as for the goal, as I said, is going to be 3-0 to Manchester United. Manchester United are going to win the match with that perfect score. I know Arsenal won today by 3-0, but I'm not just using the Arsenal as that. I want us to score a lot of goals because last season we are not able to score a lot of goals because we all know how goals are important. So, and since we have this attacking mindset player in our midst, we should able to use them and have goals because with the goals we were able to. If you remember when Amori came in, at the point we are even having -4 goals, -3 goals, -5 goals. Then when Carrick came in, Carrick have to start sorting out the goals for us. At the point we have 0, 1, 2. I started building it up. So if we start scoring a lot of goals, I think it will be a great way for us to to make a stand in the league this season. And I'm predicting also that Sesko is going to this is going to be his breakthrough season for us as Manchester United player with a 25 goals this season. That is where I keep him because last season he was able to give us a double figure. So this season, even without him not playing majority of the match with a lot of injuries and coming into Premier League England for the first time, was able to do a lot of things. And if you can see this physique of Sesko this season, this coming season, we'll say that he has built a lot of energy, a lot of muscles, because I think this guy is going to bully all the defender this time around because that is what he's trying to do. Because last season we see how he was being shoveled a lot of times. So this season I think he knows what the Premier League is all about. That you need a lot of energy and for you to beat your defense, for you to beat the defense line. And this is something I think Sesko has been building all through the preseason going into this new season. But we'll see that as the season progresses, and we are all here to discuss about it every every time. So once again, we are so happy with the Manchester United for another new addition to our team, Carlos Baleba, coming to Manchester United after last year, which we did wanted to sign him, and with the price tag from Brighton, we are not able to put a sign to it because Manchester United felt that man, this guy is so expensive for us to buy at that price, and we're having this belief of Casemiro in our midst that Casemiro can do all those things. But one thing I did Manchester United did that was wrong was that they should have signed Carlos Baleba last season so that he can learn from Sesko and from Casemiro before Casemiro leaving. Now he's going if since he's coming to Manchester United, he's coming with his own experience and not learning from under an experienced defensive midfield as Casemiro. So it will be a little bit of challenges. I'm not putting a lot of um, this thing. I'm not putting a lot of expectation from him this season, and I think to me buying um, Beleba this particular period of time to me is like a rush because we are just buying it because we saw how AC Milan had played us in the midfield, and this is something I don't like when doing a panic buying. And we also, if you remember, we're also buying a player which is also injured at the moment. So we are buying a player that will not be able to play in the next 4 to 5 games for us. That means we are expecting this particular player, Carlos Beleba, by after the international break. So which is after 3 weeks by September This is when we expected ending of October, ending of September. This is when we're expecting him to be back into the team. And if you know, you will not be just going into the first team immediately. So to me, is a panic buying from Manchester United. I think we should have buy this better player before going into the season when we are playing our preseason matches. So Carlos Beleba, to me, is I'm not disputing that he's not a great player or he's a great player and he has loved to play for Manchester United even since last season. And if you remember very well, during last season, the games last season have to drop because of the transfer saga that all went through between Manchester United and Brighton, the tag and everything. So it put a lot of pressure in the guy in Baleba, which is playing expectation has to drop last season. But still, Manchester United want to go for it because he's a player that have said I would love to play for Manchester United because it is his dream club. So I'm so grateful that yes, we are adding that to our team, but we should also be concerned not just adding a defensive midfield into that team, but we should also look into the left back because this has been a position where we the Manchester United have just neglected because they believe that Luke Shaw has been a perfect player for us. We all know that for the past 10 years, which Shaw have been playing for us, it was like think it was last season you have to play a lot of matches for us without going into an injury. And to me, I believe doing that was because of the World Cup. So and if you remember, this guy is getting old, then he can't even track back very much. So we need somebody who can play that position or who can mount a pressure to him for him to come back to his best. If you check the AC Milan match, I always use that as a reference point because this was a match that we all saw a lot of things that we didn't see during the play between the Atletico Madrid, the PSG. Even the Atletico Madrid was playing a, a three line defense, five midfield, with the same thing with the AC Milan. But we're able to stop them. We're able to put a bench. We're able to put a stop to their play even before entering the defensive line. And we see that even with the young kids, Amas and all that coming into the play, they even play better than the 95% senior team that played against the AC Milan. So if we have a new left back, it will be a great addition for us. Not just because we are playing the Premier League, but also for the Champions League. We can play Lucio against Olise. We can play him against a good player that plays those wing in the Champions League. And we all know that in the Champions League there is every tendency we can play against PSG, we can play against Real Madrid, we can play against Bayern Munich, we can play against even Barca. So because these are all these teams are top teams, and their right wingers are this player that they can take 1v1, and I'm also sure be that strong player who can stand in that. So if you notice, Dogo to me right now is not a defensive player anymore. We'll take him off from that defensive rule. Guy, we know you are good. Okay, go to the front line. This is where you belong. You should you should you should play with the Rashford, the Cunha. This is where you belong. So we shouldn't rely on just on Shaw on that left back very much. Even with the feeders team, the Amas guy that came in, yes, we know he's still coming up, but he's not a player which we can use during the Champions League. Yeah, I think it is better if he goes for another loan season and play much of the first team opportunity over there than staying in Manchester United for this new season. So we need actually we need a left back. This has been a major concern. Even last season, I have been saying it because even when I see Shaw playing there throughout last season, I know that yes, he's not that he's a bad player, but he's not that player which we think that is going to give us what we want by the time we are going into the Champions League. So I think if we have another additional player to that left wing, it will be a great access to the team, and it is going to help the team progress perfectly as the season progresses. I don't know what the board is trying to do, or if they are going to wait till the mid transfer in January to sign a left back, or are they going to sign it this season? So we just have to cross our hand and see as the transfer window goes. But I believe this is a place where Michael Carrick should also put a consign. Now they have signed Carlos Belliba from Brighton. And from what we saw from the news, it was an improved bill of 65,000 euros. So I think, yeah, even when we go for player of 75, the Fernandez that went to Tottenham, then all those guys are still good. But I don't see the Turani that also went to Tottenham. I don't see the reason why Manchester United didn't sign those guys at the earlier stage. We all know maybe because of their age and not that, because Beleba, I think he's 22 or 23, he can give us this longevity as the season progresses along the line. But we need somebody that's yes that can just kick into the team and made a great impact. Just as I said, he's not a bad player, but my concern is that we are buying a player who is currently injured at the moment. So he's not going to play for a certain period of time and by coming into the first team. So another great news is Bruno Fernandes Day, which is going to sign another new contract. What I think from the news is that Bruno have rejected the day the the proposal which Manchester United gave to him on his new contract. Yeah, I think because maybe he need a lot of increment because he has to, as a captain, he need to also have another the same pay grade as Rashford. So this is something I think Manchester United doesn't want to put a lot of money or a lot of salary to to all these players because of their age, their time, and all that. So, but he's our captain. He should be able to have the same, or if not the same, or above what Rashford is earning. So, Bruno has rejected the deal, but that doesn't mean that the deal is being rejected, that he's leaving Manchester United. No, it just means that they have to talk about the clause, they have to talk about the length of the contract, they also have to talk about the bonuses, even the salary. They also have to talk if there's going to be a clause in the deal. They're going to talk about the rules he's going to play. So all these things are the things that the Bruno team, the agents, and the Manchester United have to discuss as the season progresses. But it's not something that they are just going to do just one day and leave it and make a conclusion immediately. So let's watch and see how the season goes. And we hopefully hope that yes, Bruno is going to sign a new deal for us because he has been a great player for us. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy this program and I want you guys to share, like, subscribe, comment because tomorrow after the match we're going to have the reaction of how the match goes tomorrow. See you tomorrow as we meet again. Thanks. Bye.